आप होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट के लिए सर कैसे स्कूल में प्रमोट कर रहे हैं?
कि
बिकॉज
जिम्मेदारी ली जाती है, जिम्मेदारी दी नहीं जाती।
क्यों एग्जाम रिजल्ट्स के पीछे ही भाग रहे हैं मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द स्कूल?
99% of our admissions happen through word of mouth.
गवर्नमेंट हैज allocated a lot of amount to school education.
Learning only happens when the environment for learning is conducive.
Which out of this is more important for students? The exam results or overall holistic development?
The real meaning of holistic needs to be penetrate deep down understanding.
So how do you think PM Shri schools are affecting regular schools?
इतने सारे प्रोफेशंस हैं जिनके बारे में हम सोचते भी नहीं हैं।
AI and technology की वजह से old school teaching methods will go away.
ये बड़ा सब्जेक्टिव है। It depends on individual.
Do you think standardized testing killing the creativity?
Technology and human intelligence has to match.
Do you think private schools are better?
You know, children love to hear stories.
Yeah. Parents push too hard, harming their child's education.
Sometimes yes, because
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Schoolcast. Today we have with us Mr. Sachin Vats. He is the chairman of Gurukul School in Ghaziabad. Welcome, sir.
thank you, Avyakt, and it's a pleasure to be with you on Schoolcast.
It's an honor to have you here, sir. It's an honor to have such an experienced educationist. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir, starting with आपका school, I think you have more than 3,000 students and it's been more than 2 decades. So it's been a long journey. Sir, what made you start Gurukul the school?
Well, Gurukul started by chance. I, by qualification, I'm an engineer, and at the age of 24, 25, like any youngster, he was looking for some kind of an engagement. I wanted to uh, be an entrepreneur always in my life. So my first job was at BAM Organics, Gajraula, since I'm a chemical engineer.
Okay.
And then, as luck would say, I was fortunate to be in touch with some people who actually wanted to start a school. They were looking for somebody who can take care of the operations on a day-to-day basis, the managerial aspect of it. And uh, they had the money, I had the skill. I started with them. 6 months they exited, and I took over because they did not find it lucrative. I found it my calling, I found it my passion, and trust me, since that day, it has been an amazing, amazing journey, and that's how Gurukul came into existence. It
Great.
became my baby.
Sir, at the young age of 24, 25, you were a chemical engineer. You are a chemical engineer. So, school is a very boring industry. So, how come? Because you are not from a family जिनके schools, like you've been seeing schools since years.
Mhm.
तो आपको schools के आने का interest या education में what was your calling या आपको interest कैसे हुआ to get into schools?
Uh, so, I owe every bit of my existence today to my school. I have learned so much in my school, and I really thank all my teachers who were my educators in my school days. I had done my schooling from APJ School, Noida, and I'm very proud of that fact. Amazing school, fantastic school. It made me what I am today, gave me all opportunities, all, I would say, skills which are needed. And that, so when I started my own school, since I had no background, I had no understanding of how education works, I had no clue how to run a school. I just simply made one statement to myself: make common sense a common practice,
Okay.
follow what you saw in your school, what you would not like to do if you were the decision maker. And that common sense made me take this further. And I mean, keeping things simple, keeping sticking to the basics, that probably made me incrementally move into my journey. And that is how Gurukul grew each and every year, step by step, and we were fortunate.
Great, sir. Very good to know.
Hmm.
Sir, आपने गुरुकुल स्कूल को how did you turn it into a school with top grades and one of the best schools of the city or maybe country also?
uh, if you're honest to your work, if you take responsibility, and in Hindi I always say this to myself and to my team, कि जिम्मेदारी ली जाती है, जिम्मेदारी दी नहीं जाती. So I took the responsibility. I always realized somebody is giving their most precious belonging to me. So I'm accountable, I'm responsible. So I took that responsibility. The same feeling, the same culture we were able to inculcate in our organization. And institutions are known by culture. So we were
Absolutely.
able to create that culture in our school. And that is how uh, the faith and trust of the parent community slowly started building in us. And we got that endorsement every year, every day. Siblings started taking admissions. 99% of our admissions happened through word of mouth. So that was enough, a testimony to something called कि हम अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, अच्छी recognition हो रही है, और that was the motivation we always had to us.
Definitely, sir. Amazing job. But sir, can you please share some anecdotes या कोई stories के आपने ऐसा किया जो आपको लगता है बाकी लोग नहीं करते हैं या आपने कुछ अलग किया?
सी अव्यक्त, मैं ऐसा नहीं कहूँगा कि मैंने कुछ स्पेशल किया। शायद मैंने जो भी किया, मैंने दूसरों से सीख कर किया। आई वॉज़ वेरी कीन इन लर्निंग, आई वॉज़ वेरी कीन इन ऑब्ज़र्विंग। आई यूज्ड टू सी द बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हैपनिंग across the schools, across the community of schools within the country, as well as outside. I used to sit for hours on internet. I used to explore websites of schools. I used to see what best they're doing, why a school is good, how are they good, how can you learn from each other? Because sharing and learning is something which has to happen in education. You can't impact the entire country by just opening one school. So if
Definitely.
if we can't share, if we can't learn, then probably growth will never happen. And it's a
Definitely.
national duty. Schooling is something which is going to impact generations. So so I if I talk about some personal anecdotes as you asked about, um, when you are starting a school, people don't take you seriously. Oh, this school doesn't have a
Absolutely.
strong network of board of management. They don't
Yeah.
have an experienced people behind the school.
Yeah.
Let's see how it will work. Maybe a young boy who's starting a school, successful hoga nahi hoga, and why would I experiment with my child?
Yeah.
These were the thoughts that any parent might have.
Yeah, which are valid also, I
Of
think.
course they're
Yeah.
valid, but as a team, all of us, the teaching team, the non-teaching, we as part of the promoters, we were together in all decision making. I ensured that every decision we take for the school should be inclusive, should be child centric, and the question which our team always ask: how can it help the child? And these things made us take informed decisions, valid decisions, which eventually gave us result. And we were very open and honest in accepting our mistakes. To err is human, but to forgive is divine, as they say.
Definitely. Definitely.
So when people had this faith, when parents saw, teachers saw that it's a very transparent work culture, it's a very transparent relationship between any of the stakeholders. So the faith and trust increased manifold. And that is how we were able to incrementally prove ourselves. And then people started taking us seriously. The education fraternity, the parent community, the city, everybody started acknowledging us, recognizing us. And that used to give us a lot of uh, uh, you know, uh, happiness, used to bring smile on our faces, and even pride in every stakeholder used to go to the next level altogether.
Great, great. So, sir, two words which I can focus on आपकी conversation से is one is research. You researched very well across India, across the world, कि what are schools doing, what are they doing right, what are they doing wrong, and second is focus on the child.
Correct.
Great, sir. आपने जैसे बोला कि there is a lot of transparency in your school, कि when you make a mistake, बहुत transparent थे. तो sir, इसके कुछ examples हैं that you admitted it, the school admitted it that we did a mistake and now we will correct it, or did you guys do something, or you were just changing it quickly, जो भी गलत हुआ.
So uh, if I can recall, like I would say, at the uh, decision making level, when
Yeah.
we were having a
Yeah.
conversation with our team internally, say we had taken a call for a particular uh, way of executing an event
Yeah.
or a plan, academic plan. We took some third party vendor as our
Okay.
partner, or maybe we designed some event in the calendar, but we overlooked an overlapping thing that point of time. Now the team prepared according to the instructions given earlier, but as we were inching towards the D day, we realized that there's something which is more on priority. Now, as a human being, I had invested all my energy in the preparation. One fine day, somebody comes and tells us, "Hey, this is not what you need to do." Now I have very limited time available, and I need to run this show. The show must go on.
Yeah.
So the leader must rise to the occasion and say, "Hey, it was my problem, my mistake. I couldn't foresee this problem coming. So now I am giving you this instruction, but this is something which the failure would be my responsibility.
Okay.
Success will be yours.
Okay.
Please let us honestly work and try and make it a success. But I know that problem is not yours. You will not be judged." So that gives immense confidence to the team that
Definitely.
you are actually taking the ownership.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
last minute change of instruction, last minute change of plan is not that somebody sitting on the top is just giving instructions, but they started believing that no, it is okay. And you are quick to learn from those mistakes the next time. And that is how the trust and faith continued with the team.
No, no, very good to know, sir. That is why maybe you've grown so fast in such a small time because I've seen so many schools, Joe, maybe they're 30, 40 years old also, but they are running it their way. But very good to know that you are running it this way. Very good to know, sir. Sir, which out of this is do you think is more important for students? Which is the exam results or overall holistic development? और आप holistic development के लिए सर कैसे schools में promote कर रहे हैं? Because NEP, NCF, everyone is talking about this.
अब एक गूगल करोगे ना, आंसर ये निकल के आएगा, होलिस्टिक. नोबडी वुड से एग्जाम रिजल्ट्स एंड ऑल.
Absolutely.
और अगर कोई कहता है कि एग्जाम रिजल्ट्स, देन दैट मीन्स दे आर नॉट प्रोग्रेसिव. दे दे डोंट बिलीव इन दिस. बट नाउ द रियल मीनिंग ऑफ होलिस्टिक नीड्स टू बी, you know penetrate deep down understanding. uh, it's very easy to have these fancy words, these most common and popular words, but to live these words day in day out, that calls for a lot of, again, research and understanding.
Absolutely.
And it should become the culture of an organization. So absolutely, the holistic development is something uh, which should be the focus of any school, because end of the day you are not preparing them from tomorrow, you are preparing them for a future which doesn't exist as on date.
Absolutely. So सर आप इस पर कैसे फोकस कर रहे हैं अपने स्कूल में holistic development पर?
uh, what we do is like, as I said, there is a tagline is, ये स्कूल सोचता है. तो ये स्कूल फ्यूचर की सोचता है, ये स्कूल पेरेंट्स की सोचता है, ये स्कूल बच्चों की सोचता है, ये स्कूल टीचर्स की सोचता है, ये स्कूल कम्युनिटी की सोचता है. So uh, each and every individual in the school, if they will only wait for instructions and won't think, then innovation will not come.
Absolutely.
Thinking
Absolutely.
has to happen every moment, every time, by every individual.
Correct.
I am the best person who is staying with children day in, day out.
Yeah.
Who better than me knows them? मुझे पता है वो बच्चे क्या हैं, मुझे पता है उसकी नीड क्या है. Learning only happens when the environment for learning is conducive.
Absolutely.
So I need to connect to that child. I need to understand the need of the child. So, and I need to be aware about the skills of the future.
Yeah.
So for this, I need to read. I
Absolutely.
need to be aware. Now, thanks to technology, thanks to all these artificial intelligence and internet, and all the information is available. The skills of the future, World Economic Forum, the United Nations, and all the credible organizations in the world, they keep us informing about what is happening. The TED Talks, the podcasts like this is such amazing. I mean, what you are doing, probably through this, it is reaching out to all those people who are not aware. So if anybody would watch these kind of episodes, I'm sure their information level is going to be go to the next level. And this is actually a real service you are doing. So
Thank you.
these events, these kind of things will really make it so relevant for all the schools to really come up and give the best which every child deserves.
सर अनदर रीज़न जो हम ये करते हैं द होल टीम व्हाई वी डू इट इज़ बिकॉज अगर ये स्कूल्स में टॉप मैनेजमेंट प्रिंसिपल ओनर्स आर अवेयर आल्सो अबाउट थिंग्स व्हिच आर हैपनिंग जब मैं भी स्कूल में था वी आर नॉट अवेयर कि गवर्नमेंट एजुकेशन में क्या कर रही है एज अ स्टूडेंट
Hmm.
either you are a very avid reader of newspapers or like you research online but at that age aware नहीं होते हैं so maybe students will also be aware about all this through this
Absolutely. Oh,
yeah.
yes, true.
सर जैसे आपने बोला कि ऑफ कोर्स एवरीवन विल चूज होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट ओवर एग्जाम रिजल्ट्स
Hmm.
तो फिर भी आजकल स्कूल्स क्यों एग्जाम रिजल्ट्स के पीछे ही भाग रहे हैं मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द स्कूल्स
Uh, Sometimes it is peer pressure. The schools who are in the city, sometimes schools are governed by parental expectations, and which is a big mistake. It's a mindset in the schools that if your result is good, because अभी भी normal parents के दिमाग में रहता है marks.
एब्सोल्युटली
Even as we speak in 2025, still the mindset is नंबर कितने आए.
बिल्कुल
जब तक ये थॉट प्रोसेस चेंज नहीं होगा, तब तक स्कूल्स और पेरेंट्स की एक्सपेक्टेशंस मैच नहीं होगी. बट टू मेक इट अ रियलिटी, it is it calls for lot of interaction between school and parents, and they need to be aware. See, I am a school promoter, and people who are into education knows it the best. But somebody who is not into education, they are into some other vocation,
या
for them it is one of the responsibility कि बच्चे हैं, उनको स्कूल भेजना होता है, पढ़ाई करानी होती है.
बिल्कुल
उनकी गलती भी नहीं है. सो उसके लिए bridging this communication gap between the parent and school is very important. And if school knows that I must not focus on marks and projecting the results, then if you are expecting a mindset change, or a heart change of an individual, that is parent community or the community at large, in one day, that's not possible. It's an effort.
या
You must need to show them, probably have evidences regarding that, around that, so that parents eventually start thinking, and this change has started coming now. But the pace is very slow. We all need to work together. The school community, that means all the associations of schools, the kind of seminars and the conferences, or maybe online events that happen, they need to take it as one of the agenda, that how do we work on the parental mindset, because school is a community concept.
एब्सोल्युटली
School has stakeholders within the school and outside the school. So if all of us are strongly advocating it through ambassadors, through brand ambassadors, through people who are influencers,
या
people who understand that if a country needs to progress, then the focus has to shift from marks to skills.
एब्सोल्युटली
Then the change is going to come. And I'm very optimistic that the process has begun. But it's a huge country. I mean,
या
it's going to take some time.
takes a lot of time सर अब जैसे गवर्नमेंट ने बजट निकाला सो दे हैव एलोकेटेड सम अमाउंट अ लॉट ऑफ अमाउंट
Yeah,
एक्चुअली टू
true.
स्कूल एजुकेशन
Mhm.
तो क्या उसमें उनको कुछ अमाउंट इसके लिए भी देना चाहिए टू फॉर माइंडसेट कोचिंग ऑफ पेरेंट्स एंड स्टूडेंट्स और क्या वो करते हैं ऐसा कुछ
I don't know whether you are a mind reader or not. पता नहीं ये कैसे आपने ये बोल दिया. Um, this is very close to what I feel and think. Uh, there has to be a lot of emphasis on parental involvement in the
Yeah.
process of education. This calls for, हम टीचर ट्रेनिंग की बात करते हैं, हम टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करते हैं, लेकिन हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि बच्चा किसका है। बच्चा
एब्सोल्युटली।
तो पेरेंट का है, और पेरेंट ही डिसाइड करता है एंड दे गिव अ रिपोर्ट कार्ड टू द स्कूल कि ये स्कूल अच्छा है या स्कूल अच्छा नहीं है। और जब मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ, मैं प्राइवेट स्कूल्स की भी बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स की भी
ऑल
बात
काइंड
कर
ऑफ
रहा
स्कूल्स,
हूँ,
या।
ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ स्कूल्स। So sometimes the anxiety in parents, the fear of missing out, the FOMO,
Yeah,
is so high that they land up in taking a wrong decision. For this, I strongly believe that there has to be a process, a budget, and a provision in which we are involving parent big time to make them understand कि स्कूलिंग होती क्या है, स्किल्स होती क्या है,
एब्सोल्युटली।
कैसे इतने सारे प्रोफेशंस हैं जिनके बारे में हम सोचते भी नहीं हैं, जानते भी नहीं हैं, और सिर्फ फोकस 6 7 8 10 प्रिमिटिव एंड एज ओल्ड प्रोफेशंस को सोच के हम ये मान के चलें कि दे आर द ओनली पाथ टू
करेक्ट।
सक्सेस
या,
इज अ रॉन्ग माइंडसेट। एंड ट्रस्ट मी अव्यक्त, अगर ये हो गया ना, तो इंडिया नेक्स्ट लेवल पे पहुंच जाएगा।
डेफिनेटली सर, मे बी आज हमने इस पॉडकास्ट में आइडिएशन करा है, तो कभी हम स्टार्ट करेंगे ऐसा कुछ।
या ऑफ कोर्स।
या सर, talking about the budget,
हाँ,
budget में government has allocated a lot of amount to school education.
यस।
So what are your thoughts on allocation, के अच्छा है या क्या हो सकता है या पॉजिटिव है? What do you think about it?
सी नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के बाद uh, सबके दिमाग में ये क्वेश्चन है दैट इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल डॉक्यूमेंट, now it has to be implemented in its spirit, and there are many stakeholders who need to play their role. Government has to play their own
Absolutely,
role, implementers have to play their own role. The biggest challenge is decoding of that document. एक
absolutely,
डॉक्यूमेंट हमें मिल गया,
बिल्कुल,
everybody reads that and have their own interpretation. But people who had created the document had a very clear mindset कि how they want to look at India as a विकसित भारत। गवर्नमेंट knows its responsibility, उन्होंने एक बजट एलोकेट किया। एनईपी की प्रोजेक्शन थी कि 6% ऑफ जीडीपी शुड गो टू स्कूल एजुकेशन,
yeah,
सो एजुकेशन सॉरी,
yeah,
इंक्लूडिंग द हायर एजुकेशन एंड स्कूल एजुकेशन। वो इस साल कम रहा, बट आई एम श्योर दे हैड अ लिमिटेशन।
yeah,
हो सकता है कि आने वाले सालों में हम इस नंबर को अराउंड 6% जो प्रोजेक्शन है वहाँ तक देख पाएँ। पर मुझे लगता है कि जो है उससे मैक्सिमम आउटकम कैसे निकालें, फोकस उस चीज़ के ऊपर होना चाहिए। दे हैव इनोवेटिव स्टेप्स दिस टाइम, इंक्लूसिवनेस उसके अंदर नज़र आ रही है। टारगेट ऑफ ओपनिंग 50,000 अटल टिंकरिंग
yeah,
लैब्स इन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स इन नेक्स्ट 5 years। और ये जो एआई का सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस का जो किया है, आई मीन दे आर प्रोग्रेसिव, दे आर
yeah,
थिंकिंग द फ्यूचर एंड
absolutely,
मेकिंग द फ्यूचर रेडी थिंग्स। नाउ we can't expect everything to be done by the government only. It's a huge
absolutely,
country.
yeah,
Public private partnership has to come, but government also needs to make efforts to ensure that if private sector involvement is needed, how can I make this thing very conducive for them,
yeah,
lucrative, in sense that, oh, I it's a responsibility, I must rise to the occasion, and it is not one person's country, it is the people who make a country. So e citizenship, हम सब लोगों को मिलके इस जिम्मेदारी को उठाना होगा।
बिल्कुल,
और जो बजट अलॉट एलोकेशन है, फिगर्स में क्यों फंसे हैं, ये देखें जो है उससे मैक्सिमम कितना निकाल सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल,
अगले साल बात करेंगे, अब जो हो गया उसको अंडू तो कर नहीं सकते। सो व्हाट
absolutely,
एवर वी हैव, लेट अस गिव आवर बेस्ट फुट फॉरवर्ड, लेट अस ट्राई एंड take the maximum advantage of the situation today and make the children learn and get their due.
great, great. But overall, it looks like a very positive sentiment. हम अच्छी
Yeah,
जगह
of
पर head
course.
कर रहे
I
हैं।
think government is focused.
Yeah,
Government is trying. It is very easy for me probably to sit here and say कि कम है या ज़्यादा है,
absolutely,
but there are intelligent people sitting there. They
yeah,
know what the country needs and they have a plan. I'm
yeah,
sure next year is going to be better than what it is this year.
absolutely. सर, जहाँ हम सब पीएम श्री स्कूल्स के बारे में जानते हैं, आजकल बहुत सारे हैं।
Mhm.
सो हाउ डू यू थिंक पीएम श्री स्कूल्स आर अफेक्टिंग रेगुलर स्कूल्स? because they are the government schools are being tagged as PM Shri schools कुछ कुछ.
Mhm.
तो वो जो रेगुलर स्कूल्स हैं जो PM श्री में नहीं आते उनको कैसे इफेक्ट हो रहा है?
Uh, so mm, it's a fact that when we compare the private schools versus government schools, the mindset and the perception and some facts also proves that the private schools are doing much better than government schools.
Yeah.
But if you look at the numbers, then it is just maybe 15 to 20% of schools in the country are private schools. The rest of them are government
I
schools,
think even lesser.
even lesser.
Yeah.
And if we want to impact the larger audience, now 250 million students
Yeah.
is a huge number.
Huge.
So only private sector cannot do it alone. Government has to play its role. Now government is realizing that can we make some exemplary schools. Now these exemplary schools are schools for shining India, and they are PM Shri schools. Now, if one school can become a model school, the idea is the neighborhood schools take an inspiration from them and everybody grows.
Absolutely.
So government's idea is, can we identify some schools amongst government schools and make it a center of excellence so
Yeah.
that the other government schools can, become uh, something called uh, a model to look up to, and then they take it in their own systems and progressively they grow with them. So PM Shri is a step towards identifying those center of excellence and supporting amongst the Kendriya Vidyalayas or the Navodayas and all. I'm pretty sure that with the scale of operation such huge, we don't need just few. We need every school to become like that.
Absolutely. And sir, we must applaud the government के जो efforts हैं, they are commendable. Ministry of Education, CBSC, the skilling education subjects they
Mhm.
have, I think they have more than 40 subjects in ninth and 10th and more
Yes.
than 20 in 11 and
Yes.
12th.
Yes.
They are focusing on कोई मैंने scheme पढ़ी, there is a scheme called Kapila, Kalam application for
Okay.
maybe intellectual practices. So
Lovely.
they are teaching students कि आपको अपनी intellectual properties कैसे protect करनी है.
Correct. Correct.
So it's very interesting and very good to know where we are heading. I just
Mhm.
wish मेरे time पर ऐसा होता जब मैं school में था, but very good to know wherever we are heading.
नहीं, बट अब आप कर रहे हो ना, आप आई थिंक नाउ यू आर स्प्रेडिंग दिस वर्ड
Yeah,
ऑफ माउथ, एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू गो टू प्लेसेस, एंड at least the children who are in school now would be a better informed citizens in the future, and they will be
absolutely,
much more informed.
absolutely. अब सर जैसे हम AI की बात करते हैं, AI is a word which everyone is using these days. Do you think AI and technology की वजह से old school teaching methods will go away?
Old school teaching methods will definitely go away because technology and human intelligence has to marry, and the new normal is going to be hybrid intelligence, which is
Hybrid intelligence.
hybrid intelligence. And that is the future, because you know it is going to help me at my will. I must know the skill to use that intelligence and ensure that my objective is met using this artificial intelligence, and that is happening. I have seen the productivity going to the next level in terms of administrative processes, in terms of teachers saving lot of time and being with children, because we are all human beings.
Absolutely.
Social, we are social animals. We
Yeah.
need interaction. If I become a very monotonous and a robotic kind of a environment where I just come and deliver the lecture, children are listening, there's no time for questioning, there's no time of interaction, there's no time for critical thinking, there's no time for problem solving,
Yeah.
then there's no point of education. So
Absolutely.
AI is actually giving time to teachers to
Yeah.
be more with, with children. Teachers can interact, teachers can have conversations, teachers can have a lot of open forums where you can make children think, So that time is available now more with teachers. And I'm sure the generative AI, the more we explore, the more it's going to be useful for school to increase their productivity. So I'm very bullish on this and I'm
Absolutely.
very optimistic about it.
Great to know, sir. Great to know. I think AI will, everyone will have to use it eventually. अभी कोई माने कि नहीं माने, AI is the future.
True.
Sir, do you think standardized testing जो हो रही है, that kills creativity?
Uh,
Because every student, everyone is just following that rat race कि मेरे को बस इस testing में clear करके next level पे जाना है, next level पे जाना है. So do you think it's killing the creativity?
I would say standardized testing, it depends on the quality of questions that have been asked. You know, the when you know the blueprint of a question paper, the kind of questions there, if they are application based, if they are thinking based, then these questions are standard for everyone. If you are talking about rote questions, then I think standardized testing is not a good thing. But if I have my question paper made in such a way which has a lot of practical questions, application based question, thinking questions, then I'm pretty sure that it is going to take the child to the next level, and you would be able to appreciate what you're learning. Again, decoding this term is important for me. Standardized testing, I don't see it as a rote learning only. Standardized is that it's common for all.
Yeah,
But now, if I know much in advance today that my testing is going to happen on a particular format where my skills will be tested, I don't think standardized testing is bad because it's a huge country. Otherwise,
yeah,
how would you have a benchmarking? So you
absolutely,
must have a system in place. But anybody who is doing assessments need to be very particular and conscious about this fact that do I have a equal playing field for all?
absolutely. And maybe जो answers, the students who are answering the questions, answers are not fixed to the same language what is there in the book. Because I
True,
studied from Australia और
true.
हमारे subjects में सर कभी कभी we were allowed to carry our books in the exam. Like you can carry the book. It's an
I'm
open,
game.
yeah,
I'm game. Open book test,
yeah,
application based test, case
yes,
study based tests.
absolutely,
If you give them real life practical situations and you are not expecting a standard answer,
absolutely,
that's okay. But
absolutely,
uh, like all the prestigious competitive examinations, you talk civil services, you talk about any examination, I think they test the intelligence of a person, they test the
absolutely,
skill of a person, and that is how we get the best of the bureaucrats, the best of the officers, best of the people who are able to come. I mean, you can't have a rote memorization and clear those examinations. But
absolutely,
I'm dead against all those exams which say that you do these 30,000 questions as rote and पेपर इसी में से आएगा और उसी में से आप कर लेते हो, तो फिर वो गड़बड़ है. That
absolutely.
is the wrong approach.
सर जैसे हमने इसमें बात करी सो माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज दिस ओनली दैट आर एग्जाम्स लेटिंग स्टूडेंट्स डाउन कि वो सिर्फ स्टूडेंट्स को बोल रहे हैं मेमोराइज करो रियल थिंकिंग में मत करो
Mhm,
एंड यू आंसर्ड इट ऑलरेडी
mhm.
बट आर यू फॉलोइंग दिस इन योर स्कूल के किसी तरीके से आप लोग ये कर रहे हैं
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure that all progressive schools are doing like this. Uh, the guidelines of the national education policy and the pedagogy, the cognitive domain of a child is always in the background. How do we make the curriculum more effective, more child friendly, and how do we make children have this pleasure of coming to school every day? And if they
absolutely
are attending the classes, if the teacher is making these subjects so interesting, then there's a joy of learning available in the
absolutely
classroom. They would love to come to the school and they would love to participate.
डेफिनेटली नाउ सर कमिंग ऑन टू टीचर्स
Mhm.
आपको लगता है कि शुड टीचर्स हैव मोर फ्रीडम कि करिकुलम दे कैन मेक ऑन देयर ओन अगर वो गवर्नमेंट के रूल्स या गाइडलाइन से थोड़ा बाहर भी जाता है सो शुड टीचर्स हैव मोर फ्रीडम एंड डू दे हैव मोर फ्रीडम
It is mentioned in the national education policy.
ओके
See, framework is given that this is what we expect as an exit level from a stage. Now, NEP has four stages:
या
the foundation, the primary, the middle, and the senior school.
एब्सोल्युटली
So they say we won't judge you based on the outcome after every grade.
या
We have stage. You should judge the child once the child crosses a stage. Now, to cross that stage, you have 3 years, 4 years, depending on which stage the
Yeah,
child is.
yeah, yeah.
So, as an educator, as a school, as collaborators, we have sufficient time to skill that child. So now teachers can plan their curriculum. They can, earlier it used to be that third class में इतना ही कराना है, fourth class में इतना ही कराना है.
बिल्कुल.
So, अब तो फ्रीडम दे दिया. सो उस फ्रेमवर्क में इतनी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है, इतनी ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं. बट अगेन एज आई सेड इन द बिगनिंग, डिकोडिंग समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि स्किल की परिभाषा क्या है, स्किलिंग होती कैसे है. कैन आई लुक एट द चाइल्ड and get the feeler whether the child is enjoying or not. So our teacher normally in the classroom, if the pressure is to complete the syllabus because the principal is going to ask,
Yeah.
this mindset needs to change. And for this, leadership should have lot of responsibility and role to play, that this confidence is given to teacher, that
Absolutely.
hey, I will not judge you.
Absolutely. Sir, do you think private schools are better या सिर्फ एक belief system है that private schools are good?
uh, so I run a private school.
Yeah.
आई वोंट से कि प्राइवेट स्कूल्स आर बेटर. बहुत सारे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में बहुत सारे ऐसे हम कहते हैं दीवाने टीचर्स हैं, ऐसे पैशनेट टीचर्स हैं जो irrespective of what resource they have or not, they have done miracles
Yeah.
and they have given best of the students. But looking at the volume of the schools in our country, the database of government school is more because the number is more.
Yeah.
Database of private school is less, but results जो प्राइवेट स्कूल्स के ज़्यादा इनकरेजिंग है, ये डेटा प्रूव करता है. वह मुझे लगता है ये बड़ा सब्जेक्टिव है. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन इंडिविजुअल. बहुत सारे ऐसे प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हैं जहाँ के रिजल्ट्स बहुत ही ख़राब होते हैं.
Absolutely.
बहुत सारे ऐसे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स हैं जिनके रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छे होते हैं. सो हु इज़ हेडिंग, व्हाट आर द काइंड ऑफ एजुकेटर्स दैट इंस्टीट्यूशन हैज़. सो प्राइवेट और गवर्नमेंट स्कूल नहीं होते अव्यक्त, टीचर होते हैं, इंसान होते हैं. और एजुकेशन इज़ ऑल अबाउट ह्यूमन कनेक्शन. इट्स ऑल अबाउट
Absolutely.
इमोशंस. इट्स ऑल अबाउट responsibility. So it doesn't matter which category you are from. If you are thinking that I need to deliver, I need to take care that this child remembers me throughout my life, then you have done your job.
ग्रेट आंसर सर. गुड टू नो कि सिर्फ रिजल्ट से कुछ नहीं होता. अगेन व्हाट यू सेड कि टीचर्स होते हैं. बट ओवरऑल आई थिंक स्टैट्स वाइज प्राइवेट स्कूल्स आर डूइंग बेटर in terms of
Yes,
holistic development,
yes,
not only
correct.
results. सर, डू यू थिंक कि हमारा जो टीचर बर्नआउट होता है, बिकॉज आफ्टर कोविड टीचर्स
Mm-hmm,
की लाइफ इज नॉट restricted to only school timings.
mm-hmm.
Parents are approaching them afterwards. They are always involved. It's a 12-14 hour job now. So do you think most of the schools are focusing on students grades and they are not focusing on teachers health or teachers mental health?
Um, the pressure of performance again depends on the management, the people who are managing the school.
Yeah.
Uh, Mental health happens to be a very important aspect, both uh, from the perspective of teachers as well as students. Uh, when you are affiliated to a particular board, there are a lot of circulars that come from the board,
Yeah.
parental expectations, and let us not forget that major education fraternity teachers are females.
Yeah.
The women has a multiple role to play. She takes care of the home and she takes care of this responsibility as a professional in the school. Again, a lot of pressure on this individual. So I have to be considerate about this fact. I need to understand that this empathy and compassion is ingrained in our system. Because if I'm not happy, if I'm not satisfied, then it is going to reflect in my actions. And eventually, the culture and the environment in the classroom will never be conducive to learning, and children will not find a happy teacher.
Yeah.
एंड वो बच्चे फिर वो एब्जॉर्ब ही नहीं कर पाएंगे उस चीज़ को.
बिल्कुल.
तो इसीलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम टीचर्स की मेंटल हेल्थ के ऊपर बहुत ध्यान दें. और दिस अनसेड प्रेशर is something which school managements must realize, that if they want their school to be productive, then थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्रोमाइज उनको अपनी एक्सपेक्टेशंस में करना पड़ेगा, इंक्रीमेंटली, कोलैबोरेटिवली इन्वॉल्व होके दे शुड गिव वॉइस टू देयर टीचर्स, दे शुड गिव वॉइस टू द all the stakeholders, because school is not somebody, individuals ownership or responsibility. It's a community thing.
Absolutely.
So all voices needs to be heard, and it is very contextual based. Something which can be successful in Delhi may not be successful in UP, may not be
Absolutely.
successful in Bihar, may
Yeah.
not be successful in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
So you need to understand the context, the culture, the the expectations, the kind of target audience you have,
Yeah.
and accordingly then you need to improvise and take decisions. So one size fits all will never work.
सर अब जैसे मेंटल हेल्थ की बात कर रहे हैं सो जस्ट थिंकिंग आउट लाउड कि जैसे हमें बचपन से मूवीज में हर जगह दिखाया जाता है दैट लीडर्स आर स्ट्रॉन्ग रॉक्स कि वो कभी भी रोते नहीं हैं या कभी भी ब्रेक डाउन नहीं होता सो डू यू थिंक टू इम्प्रूव द ओवरऑल मेंटल हेल्थ ऑफ ऑल स्टूडेंट्स द प्रिंसिपल और द प्रमोटर्स और टॉप मैनेजमेंट एंड टीचर्स शुड बी वल्नरेबल इन फ्रंट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स कि उन्हें थोड़ा शेयर करना चाहिए दे शुड बी शेयरिंग देयर इमोशंस और दे शुड बी ओपन क्या ऐसा होता है अभी?
I have a strong belief in the power of storytelling.
Absolutely.
And children love to hear stories.
Yeah,
You never know, uh, one moment can change the life of any child.
absolutely.
So there's no harm.
Yeah,
But these glass walls needs to be broken. People should be approachable.
yeah,
Um, all stakeholders should come together, and they should find time where these interactions are happening. That is definitely going to give an opportunity to vent out whatever is there in mind. And peer learning, sharing, all these things are all good practices which will eventually help create a positive school culture.
great, sir.
Hmm.
Great to know your perspectives on everything. Now, sir, we have a rapid fire round. It's called If Not Then What.
Okay.
So मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा आपको जल्दी से एक आंसर करना है.
हम्म.
So starting with
इसका
it.
कोई रूल है? I mean, how would you answer this?
No, I'll just ask a question. You have to tell if not this, then what.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we'll start with it. If you didn't work in education, what job would you pick?
um, Event management.
Why?
I love organizing events. I love doing all these kind of things, uh, which brings out creativity. So I love event management a
Lovely.
lot.
Are homework assignments necessary or old-fashioned?
Uh, I think they are old-fashioned if they are cliche, and they are necessity if it is making the child uh, curious and excited.
Can you please elaborate in one line, sir?
Uh, I get I do I take a concept in the classroom, but then a teacher tells the child, go back to the home and take this from your kitchen, ask your mom to show it to you using these materials.
Yeah.
Now I am excited. I come back home and say, मैम, मम्मा, मैम ने कहा है ये करना है, आओ ना प्लीज मेरे साथ क्लास में, हम करते हैं ना इस चीज को. And the joy and the excitement in the eyes of the child is going to make her or him believe that this is something good. So if these kind of creative assignments are given, they are
Yeah.
welcome.
Great. Sounds
Mm.
very good.
Mm.
Do you agree with fully digital classrooms?
No, not at all. It has to be, as I said, hybrid. It has to be a mix of digital as well as human. Nobody can replace that personal touch, that conversation that needs to happen between two human beings.
Absolutely. What is one popular education word you think is overused?
um, mm, um, this experiential learning, project-based learning. Everybody uses it, but not many knows the meaning of this. Overhyped.
Yeah. What one rule would you change in Indian schools right away?
Um, Uniform testing, this uniform examination for all. It needs to be, uh, the autonomy should be with the schools. So if you want skills to be tested, then assessments should be skill based. And as I said, you are actually preparing children for the real life. So if you have uh, options available to children to be assessed on the profession or a vocation they want to pursue, then that is going to be very fair to the child.
All right. Last question, sir. Do you think parents push too hard, harming their child's education?
Sometimes yes, because of the FOMO. Sometimes yes, because of the anxiety. Sometimes yes, because of unawareness. But as I said, the key to the child happiness and the real outcome is removing the ignorance of these parents.
Lovely, sir. This is the end of the round. Now we have last two questions before we end this. So, sir, क्या आप piece of advice देंगे for teachers and parents to help kids become ready for the future?
I would advise teachers that please make the education relevant to the child. Children are very curious, they understand, they don't need knowledge. They click a button and knowledge is available.
Absolutely.
What they need is connect. So the teacher taught connect is something which must happen in every school. The learning outcomes 100% will improve. For the parents, I would say that they should invest time with their children. If they feel that बच्चे को स्कूल में एडमिट करा दिया, अब तो स्कूल की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है और सिर्फ एग्ज़ाम के वक्त उनको ये पूछना है तुमने पढ़ाई की या नहीं की, नंबर आए या नहीं आए, तो ये ऐसा नहीं होता. अगर हम गवर्नमेंट से एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि वो बजट एलोकेशन करे, हम स्कूल से एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि वो पेरेंटल ओरिएंटेशंस एंड कॉन्फ्रेंसेस एंड कम्युनिकेशन को बढ़ाए, तो पेरेंट्स को ये नहीं कहना है कि नहीं हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है. दे हैव
Absolutely.
टू इन्वॉल्व
Makes
देमसेल्फ.
sense.
अगर वो नहीं करेंगे तो डेटा प्रूव्स कि जिन पेरेंट्स ने अपने बच्चे की स्कूलिंग में ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्वमेंट किया इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट स्कूल इज एक्सपेक्टिंग,
Yeah.
व्हाट इज माय रोल इन दैट जर्नी, तो उनके बच्चों की परफॉर्मेंस इज एक्सपोनेंशियली हाई. सो पेरेंट्स मस्ट पार्टिसिपेट in this journey, not leave it to only the school in the pretext of their busyness in their vocations.
Makes sense. And I think teachers are also parents and parents are also
Oh
teachers.
yes,
So it
indeed,
goes hand in hand.
indeed, indeed,
Sir,
indeed.
lastly, अगर आपको unlimited power मिल जाए and you were the education minister of our country, so what
Okay.
one, two changes would you do for if you had the power for a day or two?
Mm, wow. Let me imagine that I am the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
And so I would like हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर मन की बात करते हैं, तो ऐसे ही एज एन एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर मैं भी एक ऐसा पॉडकास्ट शुरू करूँगा जिसमें मैं पेरेंट्स से कनेक्ट करूँ, टीचर से कनेक्ट करूँ रेगुलरली. और जितना ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन होगा उतना हम लोग प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर पाएंगे. सो इट शुड आई वुड डेफिनेटली like to take this opportunity to have lot of interaction with different kind of schools, because इतनी बड़ी कंट्री है हमारी,
yeah.
इतना बड़ा कॉन्टेक्स्ट है हमारा, तो वो समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है उनके साथ. So this is something which I would definitely like to do. And also I would ensure that एक ऐसा सिस्टम बनाया जाए कि बच्चे के असेसमेंट के साथ साथ पेरेंट का असेसमेंट भी होगा, और वो असेसमेंट होगा कि आपने कितना समय बिताया अपने बच्चे की स्कूल एजुकेशन में पार्टिसिपेट करके. सो देयर शुड बी सम काइंड ऑफ फैक्टर फॉर दैट ऑल्सो, तब तक नहीं होगा अदरवाइज.
Absolutely. So, Man Ki Baat and assessment of parents. Lovely, sir. Great perspective. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you,
It was an
Avyakt.
honor.
Thank you.
Sir,
I
any
don't know.
feedback for us?
Well, I don't know, but I really love this, and मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि uh, I'm sure you are in your 20s,
Yeah.
and at this age, you have taken this initiative. I'm transported back in my time when I was your age and I started with this passion. I think Schoolcast has a bright future, and the way you are bringing educators here and making this platform so significant for larger audience to hear. I mean, I have shared my perspective, wrong or right. I don't know if I have offended somebody, so my
Not at
apologies in
all.
advance. But I just spoke my heart,
Yeah.
and I think you're doing a brilliant job. God bless you,
Thank you
and
so much.
best wishes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.